Hi everyone and welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway. Here I live with my husband and our 3 boys. This is my little corner of the internet where I talk about knitting. I hope that you want to sit down and join me for a little while. I have some finished objects, I have some new things on my needles that I am eager to talk about, so I really hope that you want to join me. I have timestamps on this episode, so it will be easy for you to skip to the things that you are interested in, and I will also have information about everything I talk about in the description box below this episode. There is links to where you can find me on social media and to my Ravelry and my projects and so on. So I hope that is helpful for you. Yes, I have a lot of finished objects today. I just have to warn you. It's been a few weeks since I have recorded an episode. Last time it was spring planning episode, and so it's been a few weeks since I've shown you any knitting. So I have a lot of small things of the needles today. So I hope that you are ready, that you have your craft of choice, your beverage of choice, and are ready for some knit and chat. I can start with what I'm wearing. It's also a FO this episode, and it's the Amatha sommertopp by Karianne Schirmer. She's also known as Mamma Laget on Instagram. And this is sadly only in Norwegian. I'm sorry. I wish it was in English because it's really a great pattern, a great summer top. This is knitted in a great color, I think, from Mrs. Fox yarn. It's in the sock glitter base, I just really love this fresh color. It's called Lifechat, which is directly translated to apple handsome. And it's this green and of course sparkles. I love sparkles. And it has this fun structure on the sleeves, which was so much fun to knit. I really enjoyed it. And I chose a cup today that matches my summer top. So I have knitted the size 3 on needles 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles, US 4 and 6. It weighs 147 grams, so it only used 1.5 skein of sock yarn. So I still have 50 grams left of the yarn, which is wonderful. I really enjoy making summer tops in merino nylon blend. I think it turns out really airy and nice. I don't get too warm in it. Maybe because I live in Norway. Who knows? Because we never get the really hot summers, or rarely get really hot summers. We have had some of it a few years ago, but not often. It's always some kind of cold wind or something. So I enjoy using sock yarn for summer tops. That was my point. I was not sure about this color when I chose it. I had some help from a friend. She really thought this looked good, and I agree. I love it so much now. I was skeptical, but I'm really happy I chose this color. So there is not much to say other than that it was a really enjoyable knit, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks, and I love this lace. My next finished object today is some socks. I showed it last time, but now they are finished. It's the Cozy Hygge socks by Ina Knit. I'm sure you will see them many times from me because I really enjoy this pattern. It's really simple, but it is so much fun, and the point is to use up some scraps, and I have done that. I have used some of my own hand-dyed yarn for this, together with Sandnes Sisu in the color 5224 light purple heather. So 2 strands of fingering yarn held together. And I knitted these on 3.5mm needles. I knitted the size 38 to 40, and that's EU size, I guess. This is for a friend of mine, so I'm excited to gift them. And yeah, size needle 3.5mm US4. They weigh 100 grams. And here you can see very well why it's important to have the same batch of yarn. It won't focus on it today, no. Here, the Sandnes Sisu, I had 2 different batches of the same color. So this is much lighter than this, because this is one and this is the other. But it is the same color, so it's really a testament to why it is important to have the same batch, or at least you have to alternate the colors. I have not always been very particular about the batches, because I haven't really cared, and this is the first time I've actually seen how different they can be. I've never really had a problem with this before. It's not a problem here because these are scraps, so it's not and these are socks, so it doesn't bother me at all. I did know that it was a big difference, so that's why I have the light one here and the dark one there. Yeah. Okay, so that's my socks. And then I showed you last time I was knitting on a little baby sweater, and now it's all done. It's a little cute love note, the love note from Tin Can Knits, knitted on 4.5 and 6mm needles, US 7 and 10. So it goes by really fast to knit this little baby sweater. I've knitted it in 2 strands of fingering sock yarn. One is from Garn Boutique in Fortuna called Tronka, and the other one is from Mrs. Fox yarn called Pinecone, and I hold them together so it gets this really nice marled effect. Yeah, I think it's really cute, and I can't wait to gift this to a little baby girl that is coming next month, I think. Really cute, and again, I love to knit lace, so perfect. There will be more. I knitted the size 0 to 6 months, by the way, and it weighs 94 grams. This was scraps from my stash, which was wonderful to knit up. And then I finished a project that I've had on my needles since March. It's been my out and about knitting, my bag knitting. So it hasn't been knit on like every day, just when I was out and about. And it's a Musselburgh hat, and you have probably seen it before if you have been here. I knitted this in a beautiful yarn that I got in my advent swap with Lauren in Work Knits. It's from Beehive Yarns and the color is called Cozy Up. The Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague. I'm not sure I said that. Yeah. 2.5 millimeters, US 1.5. Now I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself, and I'm very sorry if I am. My brain just stopped there for a while. It weighs 97 grams because I really tried to knit up the whole skein of yarn as best I could. The skein weighed 108 grams before I started, so I have a little nugget left of yarn, but I wanted to have a few grams extra before I started the decreases than I thought I needed, because I wanted to be sure that I had enough. So that's why I have a little bit left. But it is a hat that I'm sure you heard all about before, so I won't repeat it. So I knitted it very long, so now I can get a really slouchy hat, or I can have a nice thick brim on my hat, and that is probably what I'm going to have. I found out that I'm not really a hats person, or I really want to be a hats person, but I don't feel that I look good with a hat on. But it is a necessary thing sometimes, especially here in Norway. We need to have a warm hat on our ears. So I am happy that I have a new hat for the fall and winter, but right now I'm just going to put it away. But again, Musselburgh hat, a really great pattern. Highly recommend it, and I'm sure I'm going to knit more. I think this is my 6th or 7th Musselburgh hat. And then I have this beautiful shawl here that I am finished with. It's the Breaking Dawn shawl by Annie Yuti Knits, which I test knitted for her. But this is not the shawl that I test knitted. I test knitted another one that I have gifted, but this is my second one. This is knitted in a yarn called Lunt Fargespill from Marte Helgetun. Marte Helgetun is a Norwegian designer, and she has her own yarn. The yarn is color changing, and it's really soft. It is wool, but it's incredibly soft and wonderful. I haven't knitted exactly to pattern because I only had, the yarn was 150 grams, 540 meters, and I knew that wouldn't be enough for the whole shawl, but I just wanted to start it and see how far I got. So this part is a little bit too short. This is the last part of the shawl, but I think it should be double as thick as this is. But that's okay. So a little bit modified, but not much. I knitted this on 3.5 millimeter needles, again, US 4. When I had knitted up the yarn I had, I felt that this was not wide enough, so I used a little mini skein like this from Yarnadelic, or the yarn is called Yarnadelic, maybe. It's from John Arbon Textiles, also a yarn I got from Lauren in our advent swap, just in another color than this. The color I used was Ordinary Joe, and that was really a light gray, and that matched perfectly with the end of the other yarn I knitted with, so I just blended them together, alternated them, and to just get a little bit wider of edge on this shawl, which was perfect. And I used all of that as well. And then I put a few grams, I had a few grams left for the I-cord on the shawl, and I thought I would have enough, but when I had 45 stitches left, I didn't have any yarn left. So what I had to do was I found a light gray Rauma finull in my stash, and I just used that on the rest of the I-cord. And I don't think you can even see that it's a different yarn and not the same color. I think it blends really well, and it's just on the edge, and I don't mind. So I really got to use up a lot of yarn here. I haven't written down what it weighs, but it will be on the side here. But I guess it's about 160 grams or something like that. It's really, really soft and very nice, and a lot of fun to knit. And now the Breaking Dawn shawl is live on Ravelry. Anina put it out on Saturday, I think. So I can highly recommend this pattern. It's a really beautiful shawl and a lot of fun to knit. So that's the Breaking Dawn shawl. At the end of April and beginning of May, I went to Bulgaria, and I needed something easy to knit on while I was on the plane and when we were driving. So I had some leftover yarn from the porcelain sweater, some tynn per gynt and tynn silk mohair from Sandnes Garn, both in the main color and the contrast color. I had almost a skein left of both of the yarns and the colors, and I really wanted to just use it and get it out of my stash. So I started to knit on something I thought I would never knit, that has been a trend for quite some time, and that is a little scarf. No, it's not the Sophie scarf. I wanted to knit a similar scarf like that, but I am cheap and I didn't want to buy a pattern, because I think that I'm probably not going to knit something like that for myself. I just wanted to use up this yarn, and I thought that maybe there was some free patterns on Ravelry. So I looked and I found a very nice little pattern called The Simple Thing by Melina Brell. Yeah, so I've knitted a few of those simple scarves that I can show you. So the first one is in Sandnes Tynn per gynt, 2641 Nature, together with silk mohair 1012, also in the color Nature. Here it is, a very little scarf. I used up almost everything of the yarn. I had a scale with me, but since I was weighing the yarn while I was in the car, it probably wasn't correct or something. So I have a few grams left of yarn, which is a little bit annoying, but at the same time it was good that it wasn't too little yarn. But this I can wrap around my neck once, so it is okay. I knitted this on 3mm needles. Yes. And since I haven't written down the US needle size, but it is here on the side. Yeah. I haven't written down what it weighs either, but I have written it here again. Yeah, very easy scarf, a very nice pattern. I just followed the pattern as it was written for this one. Since it is free, I can say that you increase every 4th row, and then of course you decrease on the other side. But I wanted to have a longer scarf on the next one, so this I increased every 8th row instead. This is Sandnes Tydenpergin 2652, and it's mid-brown heather is the color, together with 3880 dark chocolate. This is a little bit longer, but it is the same amount of yarn, approximately, no, very difficult word, almost the same amount. Yeah, so I can wrap this 2 times around my neck. So these will be some small gifts, I think, because I am not a small scarf person, I think. So this was very nice and easy projects to bring, and I actually went, I didn't have enough yarn. I didn't calculate correctly, so I did run out of yarn here on this side, I think. So I used a little bit of Filcolana Arvetta in a brown color just at the end, together with the same silk mohair. Yeah, but I don't think it's very visible. It may be a little bit lighter, but it doesn't bother me at all. So that was very nice to get that yarn out of stash. And also I knitted on some dishcloths while I was out traveling. Just take away some Norwegian notes and see in my English notes here. It's the Gramma dishcloth by PJ Allen. It's free on Ravelry. And I have knitted 4 dishcloths, 1 scrappy one, and yeah. This is the Hobby cotton yarn, rainbow cotton 8/4 print in different colors, and I've knitted this on 2.5mm needles, US 0, and they weigh about 22 grams each. I increased until 60 stitches before I started to decrease, but I think maybe I could have done more stitches because I like my dishcloths to be a little bit bigger, but it's okay. I think it's maybe 40 or 45 stitches in the pattern, but I took 60 stitches. So that was also a small little project for my travel. And now I promise I only have one more finished thing today. It was a lot, I know, but it's a lot of small things that I have finished. So here in Norway, there are 3 podcasters. Gunn Irene, Gunnis Englestrikk, Anne in Strikkorama, and Edrun in Garnhaugen. They are all Norwegian podcasters that has a podcast in Norwegian. They have started something called Lappestafetten. So in Sweden they have this between the Swedish podcasters, knitting podcasters, they make a square each, pattern for a square each that they give out for free on Ravelry so people can knit it. And there's a new podcaster that makes a square every month. It's a way to talk about the different podcasters and yeah, just to have some fun in the community and in the community of all of you who watches the podcast as well. So it's a lot of fun, and these 3 Norwegian podcasters wanted to do something similar here in Norway, so they started Lappestafetten, which is relay, the square relay. I'm not sure if that's correct. So the first month is this one of them, who is called Girlander, as I said. She has designed a May's square, or the square for May. Here it is. I hope all of this makes sense. Yeah. But this is knitted in Rauma finull. And this square is called the Angel Square, because Gunn Irene's podcast is called Gunnis Englestrikk, Gunnis Angel Knit. Yeah. And it's really nice lace pattern. And I've knitted in Rauma finull on needles 3.5 US 4. And I'm going to make a blanket of all of these squares. There will be a new square every month. I'm going to design a square, which is scary and exciting, but I'm not sure which month it's going to be. I think we are so many podcasters that are participating in this, so it's at least enough for a few years. So it can be a big blanket, we'll see. Someone might knit dishcloth or ceiling pads, or because you can decide what yarn and what needles you want to use yourself. So I've decided I want to knit with Rauma finull and make a blanket. So that is my last FO today. I have 4 things on my needles that I want to talk to you about today, and we can start with some socks. These socks are designed by Gunn Irene in Gunnis Englestrikk, which I just talked about. She has made this square. She also have a few designs out on Ravelry. Some of them are in English, but most of them are in Norwegian, and these socks are only in Norwegian. They are called the Girlander socks. In English, that will be garland socks, like the garland that you decorate with for Christmas, I guess. I have one sock done. So this is the garland. Yes, so I am using some scrap yarn that I have from both a sommertopp and a shawl. I also knitted in this yarn, but I still had yarn left, and it's from Through the Wardrobe yarn in the color Aslan's Mane. Very nice golden color. So I am thinking this will be some socks for Christmas or for December, I think. Yeah. They look very big, I know, because I'm such a loose knitter, but I have tried them on and they are okay. Yeah. And hopefully they will look better when I have blocked them. I have started the second one. I'm knitting on 2.25mm needles. I'm using my Chaigu needles, my new Chaigu needles. I ruined the other one. Somehow they came apart between the needle and the cord. Very annoying. So I got some new ones. Because I think they are the best for sock knitting. Yeah, 2.25mm needles, US 1. Going to be very nice, I hope. I'm a little bit scared that I don't have enough yarn. I was sure I was going to have enough, so I didn't divide them. I didn't do anything with the yarn to make sure I had enough for both socks, which was very stupid of me, because now I'm not sure if I have enough. This is what I have left. Yes, not much, but I have what's it called? Gauge swatch. So I can it's on my tongue. It is really. I can rip it back and make it or use it in this sock. I probably have to do that. I think this is about 8 grams, I think, and this is almost 20 grams. I hope it's enough. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I have to be creative if it's not enough. I'm good at being creative with my yarn, I think. Yeah, here you also can see how important it is to make to have yarn that's dyed in the same dye bath. It doesn't matter with these socks at all, but it's smart to alternate, especially hand-dyed yarn, because you see it's much darker on the toe than here, because it's probably dyed in 2 batches. But it doesn't matter, it's only socks, and that's why I chose the darker one for the toe. So that is one whip, and then I am knitting on something I have been planning for so long. I started, or last year, in my planning episode for 2023, in the beginning of January, I talked about this, and also in my planning video for this year, I also talked about it. Maybe I even talked about it in my spring plan video, I'm not sure. And it's the Laurie Cardigan. Ta-da! I finally cast it on. The Laurie Cardigan is from Annalise Design. She has designed this for Hobby. So it's free on Hobby or Hobby. I'm not sure what you say. Hobby maybe. It's free on Hobby. Hobby.com. You can find it in English version. I am using Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk in the color Curry number 19. It's been in my stash for years, so I'm so happy to finally use it. Here it is. It's knitted on 6 and 8mm needles, US 10 and 11. So it goes by really fast. I'm using 2 strands of the brushed alpaca silk held together. And now I've just split for sleeves. And it's just back and forth for as long as I feel like it. We'll see. Yeah, it's a very, very easy, straightforward pattern. It's nothing fancy, but it will be a nice jacket to just have for summer evenings, I think. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to save this. I'm going to Bergen in a few weeks. I'm taking the train. It will be a lot of hours on the train. I think I will be on the train for 10, 11 hours maybe. It's a long way. So some of the hours is in the middle of the night. I'm going with the train 2:30 in the morning. So maybe it's dark on the train and I can't knit, but there will be a lot of hours for knitting. So I think maybe this is a nice project to bring because it's very easy. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if I bring this. Then I also started on another one very fun project, which I've been excited to start. And when I was in Bulgaria, I was visiting some friends and I got this nice bag from them. So this is a perfect bag for my next project. It's full of yarn, full of unspun yarn. I'm not sure you can see it, but it's in here. I had 2 cakes of Hillesvåg for garn, which is unspun yarn from Hillesvåg. I'm going to Hillesvåg mill in a few weeks because that is in Bergen and I'm so excited. And I finally caked it up. It's not, yeah, it's a ball of yarn, balls of yarn. I felt like that would be better than knitting from these big cakes. And it already comes in 2 strands together. So I just rolled it up into these balls. Had a lot of trouble with that. It just fell apart all the time. So I had to split splice all the time. It was a mess. So I was thinking, I can never knit with this, it just goes apart. But actually, it goes really nicely. It was much easier to knit with than I feared. So I am knitting the Lacecap Tea by Isabella Clark. She also have the 100 Acre Wool podcast. Yeah, so here I can show it to you first. It smells lovely. It's such a good smell. Yes, it's 2 different colors. I'm not sure if it has any color names. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm knitting the size 2. I'm knitting on 5.5 millimeter needles, US 9. And this is so much fun. I'm having so much fun with this. The pattern is wonderful. It's the slipped stitch pattern, and it is also a yarn over lacy part here. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. This unspun yarn was gifted to me from a friend, which was so nice. She knew that I really wanted to try unspun yarn, and she said she had so much in her stash that she wanted to share with me. That was very nice. So I wasn't sure if I'm going to have enough of yarn, but I'm sure I have enough yarn now. It's so much. So excited for this. This is a t-shirt, which makes sense since it's called Lacecap Tea. Duh. But it's going to be way too warm, I think, for summer, even in Norway. So I think this will be a nice, like, transitional piece for fall, and probably I can use it in winter as well with a jacket over it. So it goes really nicely to knit with this yarn. I don't have a lot of trouble with it ripping, but I'm awful at doing mistakes. Even though it's a really easy pattern, I do some mistakes and I have to knit back, and then I rip the yarn all the time because I probably drag in it more than when I'm knitting around. So yeah, But oh well, it's only to split splice it and put it back together. It's not a problem. So I'm having a lot of fun with this. Yesterday I thought I could split for sleeves because the pattern says so, but actually I think it's just way too short. You knit this bottom up, and you were going to split for sleeves here, but I think that's not long enough for me. So I'm putting on another row of lace and this slip stitch pattern up here, and then I will split for sleeves, I think, just to not have it too short or too cropped, I think. Yeah, this will be very nice. Wonderful. Okay, so my plan was not to cast on anything else. Yeah, okay, I cast on something more. One more thing. Because my friend Lauren in Work Knits, she just released a wonderful sweater pattern called the Summer's Evening Sweater. And I saw her second version of this sweater, which she made into a short t-shirt top. Yeah, and I really, really like that one. So I really wanted to cast that on, and I did. I think she released it on Friday last week. And I immediately had to buy the pattern and start. So I went in my stash to look for yarn. You're knitting with fingering weight yarn, and I found some scraps I had, and I hope it's enough. I'm not sure if I have enough yarn, but that's okay, because if I don't have enough, I'm going to rip it back and I'm going to find something else to knit with. Because I'm going to knit this sweater for sure, but I don't mind if I have to rip back and find some other yarn. But I hope I have enough. I've started with this yarn from Garnbutikken Fortuna. It's from the laboratory. That just means that it's a one-of-kind color. And I'm knitting this in the size D. There are 23 sizes in this pattern, which is amazing. And I'm knitting size D on needles 3.5 millimeters US 4. I haven't gotten so far, so it's not much to show yet, but this is how far I've come. Yeah, knitted top down. Hopefully this will be enough for the top of the sweater and for the sleeves. I'm not sure if it's enough, but I hope. And I'm thinking maybe I will have this as a color, the second color. This is Garnbutikken Fortuna as well in the color Svarkmo. This is from Lykkegarn, and it's called Croquet. So maybe I will alternate between these two as a second color. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe I will do something totally different. Maybe I will rip this out and start again with something else. We'll see. Something else great about this pattern is that you can either do as I do and choose one of the sizes in the pattern, or Lauren is giving a formula for you to calculate the perfect fit for you. And I am just going with what she has written and chosen one of the sizes that I think will fit me. But I think it's wonderful that you can also just customize the t-shirt to fit your body perfectly, so, or the sweater. So I'm excited to keep knitting on this. This is also a very easy, nice knit to bring on a train, I think. So we'll see. But actually, I think this is so much fun. So, and I'm so excited to see if I have enough yarn. So we'll see. But that is the last whip I have. I haven't acquired any yarn since last time. No Yarnjoy this episode either, which is good since I'm going to a knitting festival in a few weeks. But I went to a knit night and there was, or I have a friend, she sews knitting bags, she sews children clothes, and she had a stand at the knit night with her things. She has an Epla store called Gone Fishing, which I can link below. I'm not sure she sends abroad, but I can link it for you so you can see if you want to. This is one of her bags. It's very nice. Also has a pocket inside with a zipper. Yeah, I'm not going to zip it now because I yeah, so I think this is really beautiful. And this little purse I just had to get as well, with this little fish on. So cute. Yeah, so this is just a nice little bag for a little project maybe, or for some knitting essentials. Very cute. So that's the acquisition since my last episode. It's time to sum up April to see if I knitted up more yarn than I got in. In March, I had a net negative of minus 2,489.3 grams. That means that I knitted up more yarn than I acquired, which is wonderful. So I want to see if I can keep that up through the year. So that's why I bring this net negative number with me into April. And in April, I knitted up 982 grams of yarn. I finished one cardigan, one cowl, one baby sweater, one scarf, 3 dishcloths. Yeah, so together that is 982 grams of yarn. I didn't buy any yarn. I didn't get any yarn in April. So I have now a net negative of 3,471.3 grams, which is wonderful. So I have still knitted up more yarn than I have bought or gotten in this year. But now I'm going on a knitting festival. So I'm sure that will change next month or this month. We'll see. Yes, so that is my summary of April. And that is all the knitting talk I have for you today. I can share a little bit about my trip to Bulgaria. I went in the end of April and we had a really bumpy start to our trip. The day we were leaving from Oslo, Gardermoen, with a flight to Warsaw, and then from Warsaw to Sofia. That day they had trouble with some systems in the south of Norway, some flight system things, so no flights were allowed to land or to fly. So our plane was, or our flight was cancelled, and we had a lot of trouble with the airlines. They were not helpful at all. So we had to get a refund and we had to look for new tickets. My friend was speaking at a conference down there and I was joining her together with another friend. So we had a deadline. We needed to get there by Saturday. And it was just so difficult to get new tickets, and the new tickets were so expensive. But after 8 hours on the airport, we finally found some tickets. So we had to go from, we had to stay another night in Oslo and fly the next morning, early next morning, from Oslo to Rome. So I got to Rome. I was in Rome for about 5 hours at the airport. So I guess it doesn't count. But yeah, and from Rome to Sofia. Yeah, but we got there in the end. Over 1.5 days late, but it was a wonderful few days in Bulgaria. It was really nice to meet friends there again. It was my 6th time there. So yeah, I really had a nice time. And on our way home, we went into Plovdiv, which has a really old town in it. Yeah, so I took some video. So if the video is okay, I can include it at the end of this episode if anyone wants to see. Yeah, and now tomorrow it's the Constitution Day of Norway, so we will be celebrating, putting on our bunad, or I will put on my bunad at least, and we will eat a lot of ice cream, a lot of sausage. That's what we do on our Constitutional Day. That's what we eat with ketchup and mustard, and then we eat a lot of ice cream and cakes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I usually play in the band, the marching band, but not this year, so that will be a little bit strange for me because that's what I do on the Constitutional Day. Or Constitution Day, not the Constitutional. Yeah, so, but I think it will be a nice day, and I hope we will have some sun and some nice weather. That would be really nice, but I hope it won't be too warm, because in the bunad that will be way too warm. It's a lot of wool in my bunad, and I have 2 skirts on. So there's this very thick underskirt, and that's the skirt on the top of this. Maybe I can put in a picture of how it looks. So that's tomorrow. Yes. I think maybe I should stop talking now, because again I started to ramble and I started to say so many strange things, strange English things that I can't pronounce. But I also had a little friend visiting me on my porch today. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably met him before. He was back today, and I just had to film him or her, I don't know, really fast. So I will put it in at the end. He's or she is so cute. So yeah. But I just want to thank you all for staying with me all this way, if you're still here, and thank you for your beautiful, nice encouragement. Oh, I give up. Encouraging words. You write so beautiful comments to me, and I really appreciate it. And thank you for all your thumbs up, and for subscribing. If you're not already subscribed and you like to hang out with me here in my knitting corner, then please consider subscribing. That will help out my channel a lot, and yeah, I just really appreciate it if you want to. But you're so welcome, even if you don't subscribe. I'm just thankful that you are here with me. Okay, guys, I wish you all the best for the next few weeks, and I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. Until then, happy knitting. Bye guys.